from here, it's completely downhill. And we're downhill. Like
this is the trough.
And I'm sure she anticipated it. I think everybody knew it. The city had been balancing its budget on the water deal and the COVID money to the tune of millions of dollars. You have to, I think you understand.
But I had a monthly conversation with Mayor Schember, and he made it sound like it was all going to work out, and that that if we could grow our way out of the structural deficit.
We've done that. Like Harbor Creek's done it. When I started 20 years ago, our budget was 2.6. It's now 7 million. We've raised taxes once, 1/10 of $1 million. That's it. Yeah. Like we have grown our way. How's the city going to grow its way there? What would that include? Like I get it. It works when you actually do it. I watched today. My heart went out to her. What's left of my heart went out to her because I get it. And you got to come in, and now you're firing people. And I know Marjorie Bruce, fantastic person, did a great job. Moss Sala did a wonderful job. We dealt with them all the time. These are good people. It has to be heart wrenching.
Yes.
But the reality is here, there's no way out. People need to understand this. The city, you can't cut your way out of this. They're throwing deck chairs off the Titanic. That's what happened today. Right. And I get it. And you have to do it. They need massive revenue. And she said it. And we're going to chase private dollars. How much more is Erie Insurance going to pay into the city? Like, how much of the hospital is going? You know how many people the hospitals employ, and what other money happens? Like, there's no way out of this, Joel. The city can't cut any more services. This is not a knock at anybody in the city. Not one employee. They plow the streets as best as they can with what they have, and most people think it isn't good enough, right? That's just what they think. Streets are crumbling, and there isn't enough money to put them back together. That's just the reality of life in a city. I'm not blaming any people. You're not going to have any less cops. You're not going to have any less firefighters. That's not going to happen. Like, there's
so you don't agree
to cut.
with Laughlin talking about dropping like a whole platoon or something
of firefighters?
Of firefighters.
Okay, well, I get it until the fire happens to you. Okay.
Sure. And your response times go down, and your insurance rates go up because there's less firefighters.
It's easy to say. It's probably the low-hanging fruit. It's not going to happen. You're not going to happen dealing with unions and employees, and these things aren't going to happen.
Here's what I don't understand. Again, you're a municipal expert. The city of Erie's population has declined like precipitously. Mm-hmm. We're talking close to 10% every decade, right? You would think that we wouldn't need as many workers at the city as we did when we were 130,000 people there.
You still have the same miles of roads. I mean, okay. So you're picking up
in
less.
Detroit. They basically shut down whole neighborhoods, blocked it off, put Jersey barriers up, and then they didn't have to do the roads anymore.
Oh, you can't live there. Oh man. That's an interesting theory.
I mean, we're not to that point. No. I don't think.
No, they say we need more housing here. I'm telling you, they're not going to be able to cut their way out of this. It's not an option for the city. I know it's part of it, and I get it, but they're not. The revenue that they need is extraordinary. The city.
She's going after $3 million right now because PFM said, "Look, you're spending $3 million more than you were last year.
Just this year.
You can't do that.
That's the accounting gap.
So she's going after that first $3 million, but the structure is $12 million.
There's only so much money in this market. Erie Insurance already pays full taxes on everything.
Yeah.
And then is generous beyond that. And I get that the company that can do that. Who else how many banks can you chase? Banks in Erie, Pennsylvania aren't sitting on tens of millions of dollars. No, and again, they're already paying taxes that are at an incredibly high rate.
Except for a couple, they're all just branches of a larger.
So you can chase the nonprofits, right? You can chase the hospitals. I guess. What are they going to do? What are they going to do to pay their property taxes? They're probably going to cut people if they have to do it. So all you're doing is chasing people away from jobs and earned income that's coming.
And again, it's not fair to compare a township.
No, it's not
with a city.
Cities has it much tougher.
City.
Yep.
But if I'm a developer, I've got a smooth way of developing in Harbor Creek Township.
Yeah.
I mean, basically the red carpet is pushed out for me.
We don't have the burdens of the city.
And the permitting process is quick.
Yeah, I understand that. All of those things are true.
I mean, we could start there.
I understand, but we need
without
a vibrant city.
I asked her about workflow.
Without a vibrant city, nobody's moving into Harbor Creek or
when I
anywhere
walked
else.
in this morning to cover this press conference, the guy in front of me was a plumber. He just needed to get his plumbing permits. He even brought cookies to the office. Again, very beloved guy, right? And he's just standing there. He's waiting for somebody to come get him so that he can get his permits.
Well, maybe he did. I mean, maybe once you get to the office, but you didn't get that sense.
No, I think they were coming. They were taking care of him. It's just that it just seemed, like, why can't this guy go to the plumbing office? He was a well-known. He just went through security. Go up to the plumbing office.
Sure.
Go up to
building inspection.
permits.
They're looking for permits. Yeah, whatever.
Let's expedite. Let's be business friendly.
I mean, I hope those types of changes are made, but you need to understand they're not going to cut their way out of this. That massive more tax increases are coming. And that is a double-edged sword, right? Okay, let's say you make the city solvent. Who's going to be left to pay taxes if you tax them out of their homes? The city's in a very difficult spot.
All right, let's grab a phone call here. Hi, you're first up with Dino on Talk Erie.
Hello?
Hello, you're up. Go ahead.
Okay, I can hear you now. Hey, Dino.
Mm-hmm.
You sound just like Trump. You can fix everything.
Not sure how you got that out of the first 15 minutes, but whatever.
Why don't you move into the city and solve all our problems? But seriously, I'm out of the loop today. Who did the mayor fire, real quick?
3 people from the mayor's office, a couple people from Parks and Public Works, and 1 person who was fixing to resign as far as an assistant. Well, you mentioned the names, Dean. Like
I said, I'm out of the loop. Let me reclaim my time. I don't know how to. Was it one of the information people, or, I guess I'll have to find out.
One of them was a social media person. Yes.
You spend all day on social media. Look it up.
Yeah.
Wow.
I knew that was coming.
Okay, guys.
No, they're listed.
Yeah. Are they listed?
They listed. Go Erie, I know.
Okay.
I believe.
I know that you guys know their names. You could have told me in 10 times by now.
I don't know them all.
Right. Oh. I don't know them all. They were not released to me.
Okay, real quick, Joel. Real quick, Joel. Did you see Saturday night fights down at Big Bar? Yes or no?
I did not. Was there?
It's ridiculous. Go ahead, Bill. Yeah, it's terrible. Terrible, man.
So Joel, what we have here, and we had some more fights down on the Bayfront. We have these people that's out here fighting in the streets, blocking traffic. I don't understand it because it's a few minutes long, and I've never even seen the police come. Wow. But I can tell you by following social media, this fight that took place down in the street, right in the middle of the street, blocked both traffic both ways. This is not over with. There's people looking for names, and you know what? Another thing I don't understand, there's all kind of cameras down there. This video is so clear, everybody could be identified, charged with disorderly conduct at the minimum. You had guys beating up women. Wow. You had guys punching women. That's horrific. That's assault.
Yep.
So I don't know what the heck's going on, but it's only June, so strap your boots on.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. See you later. Dean, we've got to go to break. It's 5:18. Dean Pepicello is with us here. It's Talk Erie. All right, we got to keep moving here while we have our political guru, Dean Pepicello, with us here. You wanted to weigh in on data centers. You're dealing with that. What? The supervisors are talking about it? Are you starting to get some pressure from constituents?
Oh, yeah. And every municipality's deal. I thought Rock Copeland in the first hour, or in the 4 o'clock hour, did a heck of a job describing what everyone's going through. But because the county has an ordinance, a kind of a draft ordinance that maybe we can piggyback on. But every municipality now in Erie County and really around the state are scrambling to adopt an ordinance.
Have you seen some of the stuff up in the Northeast in Scranton? They're going nuts.
And they are. And people, they need to understand. We're dealing with this. Our ordinance has passed our planning commission, and we as supervisors are dealing with it next Wednesday, June 17th. And we've written what we believe is a very good ordinance. Rock was right. You can't zone people out of existence. You can't. You can put regulations on, but you can't say we don't want data centers. Now, maybe the state can, but we cannot. Local municipalities, counties cannot say. So we do have to zone it. So we're starting to get pressure because the story was out. Erie News Now did a wonderful story. Go Erie has since done a story, I think it's in Today, on data centers and countywide. So all municipalities are trying to catch up. We're sharing information. We're doing a lot of research. So we have an ordinance to present to our community on the 17th that we feel pretty good about. It would allow them, again, we have to allow them somewhere. In our municipality, would allow them on Barron's campus and in Knowledge Park, where we think they make the most sense.
Interesting.
We're not allowing plowing under farms. We're certainly not allowing in the residential districts and our commercial district. We think it makes sense there. And we do everything under the sun to protect the community.
Don't you have an industrial district along Iroquois Ave, though?
We do, but it's not what we do. Only because we have to. If we could get away with not having an industrial district in Harbor Creek, we would, because it's just not, we don't do that. Other municipalities do, and that's fine. So
what is happening along your lakeshore in Harbor Creek?
Mixed use.
Okay.
We allow for mixed use, mainly residential.
You got everything from the Benedictine sisters to
small
residential.
Small,
you have some cabins.
Yeah, all of that. Summer recreation, seasonal, small commercial. Our lakefront does pretty well, but industrial abuts residential, so it doesn't. Yes, it's an industrial district, but there's a reason nobody does industry in Harbor Creek. It just doesn't. I don't know. It just doesn't work for them or for us. That's fine. So we think it belongs there. But our ordinance protects people. It protects all of the neighbors. There are heat and light things. There's water recycled. It's everything under the sun that you can think of. To not zone them out, but make it very difficult to come here. You can do that legally. And most importantly is protect everybody. One other thing. Just because someone built a 100 million foot, they're building these things all over the place, doesn't mean that we're going to prevent that, at least in Harbor Creek. And I suspect anywhere in Erie County, they're going to limit these things. You can do a 100,000 square foot data center that is fairly non-impactful, all things considered. So it's people, the fear out there is I'm not sure it's appropriate yet. I get it. We're with them, but we're thinking about protecting the community first.
Talk about the optics or the political part of this, of a municipality saying, we're going to greatly restrict your ability to do the thing that is going to propel this country and this world into the second half of the 21st century.
Yeah.
And we're saying, well, we want you in a box.
Yeah.
That doesn't feel like, a market-driven, libertarian approach.
Great question. Especially for a place that wants to develop. We feel we're doing both. And we've done enough research to that this is the price of doing business for them. It's not outrageous. It's not outrageous to say your data center cannot emit a noise which you can hear 4 blocks away 24/7, right? That it gives off so much heat that people can't live around you for a mile, that you use so much water that it negatively impacts Lake Erie, that you pollute the stream nearby because of whatever, right? So it is not unreasonable for municipalities to say, you can operate and you can operate in this area, but we're going to protect everybody around you. That's not, to me, unreasonable. And I think they expect it. They have really rushed in quick, and a lot of municipalities are trying to catch up. So the places where they've had massive problems, usually they got in before zoning.
Sure.
And it's just sometimes
I
that
think
happens,
Westmoreland County, I don't know.
probably caught with their pants down.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can do both. It doesn't mean that we're anti. We understand there's a technological need. VelocityNet has come into the township recently, and everybody wants someone to compete with Spectrum, right? They want competition. But when they have to put new poles in your yard because that's how they're going to run the wire, then everybody goes crazy, right? But we can find common ground, right? And maybe the pole doesn't go here, but is better in your yard over here somewhere. And so it makes sense. It's palatable, people. But it is the price of doing business. Data centers can do this. It's
what kind of legislation do you think is appropriate from the General Assembly, though? Like, you'd rather them leave it freewheeling?
You can get your hands off. Let local municipalities. Absolutely. We know. Why should a Harrisburg, Philadelphia legislator dictate what we're doing in Erie County, Pennsylvania, and Harbor Creek Township? And they did it today, by the way. The House passed a bill that takes away local municipalities' right to define a family. So if you can have a frat house next to your house right now. That's what the House decided today, by the way. So if somebody wants to put, I think it's 5 unrelated people in a house right next to you, wherever you live, right now, the Pennsylvania House said you can do that.
Who was advocating for this? Where was
Philadelphia? I assume Philadelphia Democrats, probably. Okay. I don't hear.
I mean, would there be a provision for group homes for intellectual disability? No.
Well, there's already a provision for that.
There are.
Group homes are protected.
They're already protected.
No,
right?
we're talking a frat house with 5 19-year-olds can according to the House of Representatives in Pennsylvania today. And understand, Bob Mursky and Pat Harkins voted against this. 2 Democrats voted against it. So just so you know, and it still passed. Now, I don't think it gets through the Senate. But to my point about, I don't want Harrisburg telling us how to legislate data centers or anything else. And they did it today. Basically would try taking away the definition of family from local municipalities. I assume the Senate will vote it down. This is the stuff that goes on every day in Harrisburg.
Yeah. Before we go to the bottom of the hour, quickly, Shapiro, Garrity, any change, any movement? Boy, I get emails every day. Stacey Garrity is negative from the Pennsylvania Dems, and then from the Pennsylvania Republicans, Josh Shapiro, blah 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 blah. Again, there's a lot of Oppo research going on, there, and so on. What do you think? Has that race just not moving anywhere?
I didn't even know I'm sort of facetious, but I didn't even know the race was on. I mean, if you went out and asked people, who's running for Pennsylvania governor? I'm guessing 1 in 10. They might know Shapiro, maybe. Probably not. It's just not getting any traction because the poll numbers.
But his name is coming up a lot for 2028.
Absolutely, and.
Who was talking about?
A major New York Post or Washington Post, I think, had him in the top 3.
He came up. I was watching ABC this week, and they were definitely alluding to Shapiro.
Shapiro, Mark Kelly, Gavin Newsom are in the top, are in the tier that, and I know why, because they think that they can win the general. I don't know if they can win the primary. They had Kamala Harris.
That's a huge point.
Kamala Harris, Pete Buttigieg in the kind of a middle tier. So. We'll see as things begin to shake out.
I don't know how that shakes out.
Got to get through the midterms.
Yeah. What's going on in? I've got 30 seconds. What's going on in California? Seriously,
it's not a good look, man. Not a good look. I don't care if it's legit or not. It is not a good look.
Yeah, I got a text from a conservative commentator that says, the California elections are rigged, but not in the way that you think. It's one of those things. And so I don't think they're questioning the actual processing of the polls, but he's questioning, just the whole kit and caboodle. That everybody who's registered gets a mail-in ballot, whether you ask for it or not.
It's all you're asking for is trouble. That's all you're asking for. Makes no sense to me.
It's kind of nuts. Dino's with us here. We got to go to the bottom of the hour break. 5:30 Talk Erie on a Monday. We missed 6-7 because it's 6-8. Talk Erie and the Joel Natale Show. We are live from our Kingdom Financial Group studio. Mondays, we have our political conversation with Dean Pepicello. He's the Harbor Creek Township Supervisor. Dean, we've talked about local, talked about the state. Let's go to national news. The president, what did he fly to Oklahoma or Arkansas or Wisconsin?
Wisconsin, maybe?
Wisconsin. It was a rainstorm, and he walks off the set from Meet the Press and Kristen Welke. But, Mr. President, we traveled to Wisconsin. I guess they did. I guess they were following him on Saturday, and then they had the conversation on Sunday or whenever, Friday and Saturday. And he gave her 50 minutes, and then he didn't like the conversation about the election.
Or the fund.
I
watched it, and I don't usually watch Meet the Press. But I flipped it on. I didn't know that he was going to be on, so I watched it. I thought, I don't like the mainstream media, right? I think there's a ton of bias. I do. But I thought the interview was fairly good. If I get interviewed by the press, you do this for a living. And I think you do a nice job. If there's an occasional layup, tell me what you want the public to know.
Sure, yeah.
And then there are follow-up questions and there are push questions, and you handle it great. You're gentle, but you're firm. I've always felt like there's no question I shouldn't answer. And I thought that she asked him difficult questions, but I thought she let him talk. Like, she shut up. She didn't, for the most part,
she doesn't really interrupt.
She let him go. She let him make his point. And then she might ask a difficult question, but I didn't think any of it was unfair. And I think the mainstream media is incredibly unfair to Donald Trump. I can list story after story. They're not credible. Russian hoax, all of this stuff, right? But I thought she let him talk. And I think it's his best format. When he takes tough questions and you let him talk, he's incredible. And I thought he did a wonderful job of explaining some very difficult issues, the war, price of gas, inflation, all of those things. I thought he did a great job of defending himself. And I thought her questions were difficult. Oh, well, he's great in that format. Why all of a sudden he snapped out and ripped off the microphone and threw it on the ground and walked out? I don't know. Because I thought he was kicking her rear end. I just thought that is his best
What was
format.
the trigger? Was it the $1.8 billion, the slush fund? Or
the California vote, I guess.
Yeah.
But again, go ahead and explain it. You had spent 45 minutes doing a heck of a job. That is the Donald Trump for 45 minutes. You saw the guy that got elected. He made his case to people. You don't have to agree with it. I don't agree with all of it, but he made a great case. Why he decided to walk out of that and make it a big deal. And then it was like kind of show. He pats her on the arm and thank you. And
you call her darling?
Yeah,
or
whatever. And she said,
like,
come back, I guess. And he's like, yeah, I'll do it again. Like, I'm okay with him making an example. I'm okay with him calling the media out. But stay and answer the questions. Like, he's good at it. It's not like none of those questions were surprising to him.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm surprised it went that way. And I thought he did a heck of a job leading up to it.
Let's also talk about Scott Pelley. That I was a little ambivalent because I think 60 Minutes is maybe, again, you always anticipate some kind of liberal bias within the mainstream media. I've come to live with that. That you take the good with the bad. And 60 Minutes, again, the way they craft a story is incredible. They're the best at it in the business. But Scott Pelley, accusing the head of CBS News of murdering 60 Minutes and being totally petulant in a staff meeting like that. It's like, dude, you're a professional. Get over yourself. I really had a hard time with that. But then I guess he did not he thought he was going to be able to have that blow up and then keep his job, and he was unexpecting what was it? He was discharged with cause.
Right. Listen.
Terminated with cause.
The CBS News organization is in the tank. They're last. Like, I know 60 Minutes does okay. They've lost 3 million people, I think, viewers in the last 5-10 years. They have the greatest lead up any show could want. They have the NFL on Sundays.
That's true.
Right. Do you know how many people turn away from CBS at 6, 7 o'clock or whatever it is? It's millions upon millions. So they are struggling as a news organization. They get pounded in the ratings. CBS News completely. So what's the problem with them making changes that I think might benefit viewership and bring more revenue? Who cares what their political leanings are? Do you think if this was a conservative outlet and they were dead last, that there wouldn't be changes made? So I don't get it. And this is media, man. Like, people get fired all the time. I'm
Right.
sorry.
And
I just
people
don't
have this mistaken take on Barry Weiss, who's the head of CBS News, that she's some kind of this raging MAGA conservative. She's not at all.
Right? No. But they're
She's
trying to play
center
it down
left.
the middle. They're trying to play it down the middle, which typically tends to be fairly boring. Right?
Yeah.
News Nation tries that. No one watches because they're bored. So CBS is trying to be entertaining and be a little more down the middle. I have flipped over to their nightly news when I watch nightly news because at least to me they're trying. I know they still lean left. Like, I understand it, but it's nowhere near that it was. And this stuff just, I don't understand why there's political outrage. CBS News has really struggled. So they make changes. You usually make changes with your big guns. That's if you bring them in to get ratings and make you money, and they don't, then changes are made. That's how this business works. I don't really understand the outrage on that one.
Let's grab a phone call here. Thanks for waiting. You're live with Dino and Joel and Shaney on Talk Erie.
Yeah, I've been listening to Kristen Welker now for 8 years or so, and her disdain for President Trump is like, when she sees him, it's like sour grapes and curdled milk. And she makes faces like I've never seen. In fact, my wife and I laughed about it because I call her Bulldog. But I really mean, I really want to call her something else. Look at that Bulldog. She's making faces again. This has been going on since before she was on Meet the Press, when she was just like a contributor to Today's Show and so forth. But she has never given the president a halfway mark to even go by. She's always on him.
But you know what? He that's one reporter that he loves talking to. He really loves talking to her.
Yeah, it's kind of like how I like talking to you, okay?
Come on, we're buddies from way back.
Dude, you never showed up at any of the parties. You were at home hiding under the rug because you were afraid of something.
Oh, yeah, there we go. Yeah, okay.
You were afraid to socialize.
Yeah, oh my gosh, you're funny. Anyway, hey, I get it. Yeah, you know the facial expressions, and they do tend to roll their eyes. You know.
My wife was trying to tell me. Okay,
the president said he was frustrated.
He was frustrated because he was there for over an hour. He's in a metal building with a metal roof. It's raining like crazy, maybe even hailing or sleeting.
Yep.
And it's loud. You ever been in a metal pole barn when it's raining really hard?
That's tough. Yeah.
All right. He's the president of the United States. He's not like the mayor or a council member, who has a pole barn he has.
Yep.
So President Trump, he doesn't own pole barns, I don't think. He owns multi-million hotels, golf courses, luxury places where you spend lots of money and have fun. And he did call and he did apologize.
Yeah, that's right. They were going to reschedule. Hey, thanks for the call, man.
Rescheduled.
I appreciate it.
But they didn't show any fat ankles over either, did they?
Take care now. We'll see you. Bye.
You too.
Yeah, that's right. It's so funny. Like, he wants to talk to Kristen Welker.
It was a great interview. I watched all of it. I was never outraged at all about the questions.
He doesn't mind talking to the New York Times. He calls them the failing New York Times, but I mean, again, he understands the media. He understands where the eyeballs and the clicks are. It is going to be, something that goes viral on Meet the Press. Can you imagine how many millions of views that thing, where he's stepping on the microphone?
Yeah. Inadvertently or not.
$1,000,
maybe it was
lavalier mic.
Maybe that was the plan. Maybe it was the plan all along. When you bring up this issue, we're going to storm out. Which I like him calling them out. Like, I think the world has changed as far as national media covering national political figures, and I think that's okay. But the interview was going fine.
But let's talk about the reality of the moment here. He's trying to get Israel to stop retaliating. And Israel and Iran actually exchange armaments. I think he really does want to get out of this thing. Like, he wants the Strait of Hormuz opened up. He wants there to be a deal so that he can extract himself from this and maybe save the midterms. I think Iran has a concept of, hey, if we hold out, we can have impact on domestic politics in America.
Of course.
I mean, they're playing this whole thing.
And that's worked, right? Look at history. That's been the Middle East.
They have targets.
Mantra.
My question is, why isn't CENTCOM, pushing Iran over the edge of saying, okay, we give up.
Who? The U.S.?
The U.S.
How are you going to do that without ground troops?
Well,
I
know you continue to hit missile launching spaces. They still have, what did I hear? 20 to 40% of their missiles still are intact.
Well, so what?
Why is that?
You basically
we
own
have
the airspace
total air.
anyways.
We have total air supremacy.
So what's that going to do? What does that accomplish? I'm not a military expert.
No,
But what's it accomplish? We already own the airspace. Without overthrowing the government, this is going
But they still
nowhere,
are able
Joel.
to. They are still. They use their missile system. They hide behind the missile system to do the nuclear. I mean, that was the analysis that I can see.
I think that they're weakened. They're going. The U.S. to me is going to declare victory and pull out. That's what's going to. They have to work out the strait because there is no without ground troops. There is no other option.
Yeah,
there is no other.
The
ending
issue
to
is
this.
that I don't think the Gulf states they don't want the fleets to be leaving because then they're vulnerable to Iran. Unless you totally liberate or totally take out all of their capabilities, they still have the capacity to bomb the Kuwaiti airport
and their government.
Bomb Dubai.
Take them all out. They're going to start over again. This is the Middle East.
So
it's a quagmire.
How do you get it? How do you get it back?
You don't. You have to invade and overthrow the country. Again, I'm not a military expert.
Yeah.
But you don't have to be.
Yeah.
I think he thought it was going to be easier. That's what he wants. Middle East peace. I think that the motives
he's
are
talking
about as pure
the
as
Abraham Accords,
and they were fabulous,
Yes.
right? They went a long way, but this hasn't worked out like they thought. They're 100 days in. Declare victory and pull out. That's how this is going to play. They're weakened.
Yeah.
The world
Mission
is safer.
accomplished.
Yeah, the world, there won't be any banners. We've learned that lesson. I mean, I think he learned the lessons of Iraq and George W. Bush. He was very critical of him yesterday in that article, in the interview, by the way. And I think that was legitimate. Like, he's learned that lesson, but he hasn't learned the lesson that it's going to be a quagmire no matter what. That's what it is. So,
do you think that he's telling the press that he holds all the cards? He's calling the shots. Bibi is not calling the shots. Israel's prime minister is not calling the shots.
Well,
you think that's a reality there?
no.
You think Bibi's got
The
strong
war would be
power?
over.
Yeah.
The war would be over if that were the case.
Yeah.
It's not the case. I don't think, again, I can't say I'm not a military expert enough, but I don't. What has been accomplished?
Yeah.
They are nuclear less proficient, I guess. Okay. Then declare victory. I just think that's how this plays. I think at some point here, before the midterms, they're going to declare victory. The world's a safer place, and away we go.
I think you're right.
I don't know if it's accurate.
Before we go, we've got to talk about Maine and Graham Plattner and all of that, all this stuff coming out. Again, in all of my life, I never would have thought that, a Senate race in Maine with Susan Collins still in it would at all be competitive, but the Democrats are lining up to support this guy who is really kind of gross.
Yeah.
This is the best they have.
I think the appeal, I don't see it either. I'm with you, but I think the appeal is he's a fighter. He's going to fight for the people of Maine, and I think
against Susan Collins.
I'm just telling you
against Donald Trump.
Against Donald Trump, yeah. So I think his persona is that. I think John Fetterman had the best point. He said, "I'll wear a suit every day if you go ahead and release your sex tapes or these texts or whatever." Yeah. I think he's flawed. I still will stand by. I don't think he'll be the candidate at the end of the day. I assume he's the only one on the ballot tomorrow. I don't even know that. Whatever.
Well, no, Susan, the governor is still on the ballot.
Oh, really?
The Maine governor, yeah, Mills, right? Janet Mills.
Right. I think there is so much baggage, and that as it settles down, they'll have problems with him. I think that there are still Democrats running from him a little bit. I think he's got a whole host of problems. But his popularity is because he is a fighter. I will tell you.
Wow.
I watched it. I mean,
it's interesting. If you look at the map of the Senate, and the Democrats have to almost have a royal flush. They have to turn multiple states like Maine or Texas or something, and then keep all these seats where they're in competitive races like Michigan and Ohio. Like, it's not going to be that easy for them to retake the Senate. And even if they take the House and not retake the Senate, then all of their hopes and dreams for neutering Trump in the last 2 years go away.
Uphill battle for sure. House isn't though. House
House
likely to flip.
House is likely to flip.
Yep. I think your scenario is accurate.
Thank you, Dean.
You bet.